Thank you for joining us on this episode 3 of The Costly Yes, with special focus on relationships and marriages. And what do we mean by the costly yes? It is the yes spoken from pressure, fear, guilt, and expectations. It is the yes that we say because we don't want to disappoint our families, the society, and our friends. The yes we say because we don't want to be judged. The yes we say to feel accepted, to protect reputation or avoid shame, or to escape being misunderstood. It is the yes that looks like obedience but feels heavy. It is the yes that looks noble but is quite painful. It is the yes that makes everyone else happy except the one who has said it. Today, with Deji, we'll be looking at the costly yes when you are saying it to protect your family reputation. Deji, welcome once again to episode 3.
Thank you very much, bro. Thank you, sir.
We should also have a mission statement because we have a reason for going through this particular topic and making it a series, because there's a lot to learn from this. There's a lot to unburden from this. The Costly Yes is a series we are dedicating to unveiling the emotional, spiritual, and practical price of saying yes in relationships and marriages. And what are we aiming to achieve? We aim to give voice to silent struggles, especially the unspoken pains and the pressures partners endure. We intend to teach wisdom that protects love, not the one that destroys it. We aim to examine the weight of commitment beyond romance and beautiful promises. We aim to guide young adults, couples, and married people to make decisions that honor God, honor themselves, and honor each other. We aim to restore balance in relationships by confronting the unhealthy norms that the society has normalized now. We aim to build understanding so partners stop hurting each other unintentionally and start loving each other intentionally. And lastly, we want to create a safe space where truth is spoken, healing is possible, and growth becomes shared journey. This series will challenge you to think deeper. It will make you love wiser and make you say yes with clarity, not with confusion, with strength and not in fear, with purpose and not under pressure. Because your yes is not just a word, it is a destiny decision. And every destiny decision must be understood, honored, and carefully protected. Deji, welcome once again.
Thank you very much, ma. Good afternoon or good day to you. Might not be in the time zone for the afternoon. I have loved the 2 earlier episodes that we have discussed this. And today I want us, like you said, especially with our mission statement, I want us to examine a little bit more that particular time whereby this young lady has to trade their future for the approval of the parents or the family and for immediate relief. For the family's approval when all the pressure comes to tell and she feels guilty or feels responsible for single-handedly taking her family out of poverty or out of want. And on the other hand, whereby she says yes for immediate relief for herself. She feels life is better when somebody else is taking care of you. So she's not marrying a husband or a partner. She's marrying a solution for her financial woes. Both instances come back to hurt in the future for somebody who doesn't know exactly what they are getting into. Because we've also learned of cases whereby the person knew what they were going to get and they thought it wasn't too much to give to have a life where they are taken care of. So these are what we're going to do today, and I look forward to examining this with you over the next few minutes.
So Deji, I would like to start by asking you exactly why do family names carry so much weight in this our culture that it comes to relationships and marriages?
Family names are a big thing in Africa. I don't know, and I'm sure there are other cultures whereby their name means a lot. And it tells the situation about the family, even the time of birth of that child, and maybe the situations to the time of that child's birth. Our names are very, very important. It's our identity. And the identities have been carried over for hundreds, probably thousands of years. And if you look at some of the names, you can see already that it carries the values of those people. It probably even tells where they are from, and it tells how every member, every ambassador of that family would behave. The difference is just that was then. Today, it appears as if all those values now just mean survival. That's what it seems like today. So when you are saying that your family name carries particular values and they are important, then that means you are guiding your child to decisions that make for a great life according to your values. But when you now still say this today, and it means save our family, you have to save us, you have the opportunity to save us, then we have to really examine ourselves. Because we parents cannot pretend like most of the pressure, if not all of the pressure, has not come from us. I want parents to remember, before we go into this fully, I want parents to remember that children, because we've seen that content whereby the Gen Zs are making us, I didn't ask to be born. You're stressing me, you're doing this. It sounds like a joke, but it is the truth. The children didn't ask to be born. You chose with your partner, or maybe you didn't choose, you didn't plan well, to have these children. So having children and telling them how much it takes to raise them, what you've gone through to raise them, is not totally fair. Because the responsibility of a parent is to bring into this life the amount of children that they can successfully raise. Because the aim of parenting is to raise wholesome individuals who can continue the great work of having dominion and using Earth's resources properly, which are propagated through family and marriage. A system that guides and teaches children how to live better and how to harness their potential. So this all comes way back to the parents. Today, what do those values mean? What do those names mean to you? We know what they used to mean, but what do they mean today? What does your name mean to you today? That's where I want parents to be.
In the value that you just spoke about, one's root can actually be traced. So if you look at the society now, those of the so-called high class, they want to insist that their children maintain that class, whether they are happy or not.
I understand that. And at times I don't blame such parents, because those kind of decision making, they have their advantages. In a family that is very well to do, in an affluent family, most of the time they're looking for their child to marry somebody of equal status. First of all, it solidifies the life pattern and lifestyle of that person. They don't have to step down. They continue with what they are already used to. And if you marry somebody who is on a social status, the pressures, the daily life that you are used to is already understood by them. So that kind of makes a lot of sense. But I would rather we raise our children in a way whereby you can always find expression, find comfort, find love, enjoy relationships, optimize their life, harness their great potential, and live a life whereby they have the opportunity to be their best self, as against them marrying right, like you say. Because if we train them that way, of course, they will pick somebody eventually that goes with the kind of life they want to live. But more importantly, they are able to plan a life with somebody that allows them to be their best self, and that person too is their best self, and they can find expression for life. Because resentment, bitterness, anger, muting your partner is one of the dangerous things that can befall any human being today. And we would like a case whereby parents are able to raise their children to search for values before searching for the kind of person or the status they want to marry. Because And I'll tell you why I'm saying this. I was in a class, a premarital class. So they asked the ladies the kind of men they want to be married to. And these are the qualities that stood out. Tall stood out. Handsome stood out. Yeah, it did. Handsome stood out. God-fearing stood out. 6 to 7 figures a month. I'm like, is that even realistic for the average person to look for somebody who earns 6-7 figures in a month at 27? But it's fine. What you want is what you want. That stood out. Then God-fearing somehow was also in that line so that we can follow our religiosity. And I smiled. I said, okay, dear ladies, because the boys had not spoken then, I am happy at what you said, but what you said to me just now looks like what you want. No, what you want. But I think you should focus on what you need. Like peace of mind, like respect, like love, like accommodation, like support. These are all the things married women today or divorced women or separated women today are speaking about of not enjoying in their marriage. And none of you asked for this thing. Height is not determined by the person, it's determined by a lot of factors. Genealogy, most of the time. How important is height really against somebody who treats you well? Looks will fade away one way or another. And somebody who is able to take care of themselves and earn well and understand what they should look like will eventually look better. Earning money has maybe a particular frame it should be in. Some people are already from rich families and some people are geniuses that have earned early. But most of the time, you'll probably find somebody earning 6 figures, probably the low 6 figures at the ages of 24 to like probably 27, even if you want better. And okay, 6 parts is fine. Exercising is good, but you can work on that. It's not stamped on. God-fearing, that one really amused me. God-fearing in religion or God-fearing in faith. Because somebody who is actually God-fearing will not hurt you, will not abuse you, will not manipulate you, will not lie to you, will not cheat you. So my point was that the values that they chose for what they wanted in their husbands were all physical and material. None of them went to the pinpoints of a human being, of what we want to be. So, yes, parents will do that, especially parents of the affluent. But in the case of the rest of us, those who are average or on the poverty line, they always aim higher. So when you are putting your child out there and telling them to aim higher, what you are telling them is that the behavior of the person, how they treat you, your own feelings, your comfort as a human being, they don't matter. Just go out there and find somebody who can afford a life for you. Go and get a master. Go and get a monster who controls your life. That's what we are saying. That is my understanding of this particular question that you just asked.
Yes.
Say that one more time. What do you want for your child? Train them in the way that they will go, and you will have peace and rest.
I still want to stay on this class status. It reminds me of a family that actually they wanted to see their children marry the same class. So what did they do? They matchmake most of the time. When they bring somebody in, the first thing is, who is your father? Things like that. Although if they know the father, definitely they may know the inner, the values, inner values of the father. But then the inner values of the father does not really mean the inner value of the son that they are looking at or the daughter that they are looking at. Anyway, fast forward. They insisted, and so they got someone of the same status for the guy. And they started friendship with this family it was easy for them to mix and everything. And fast forward, they got married. There was no peace in that house. That marriage did not last 1 year. The guy had to run away from the house until 5 years after that he came back because, the marriage was actually dissolved because he was just missing. There was no communication, it was desertion. So the marriage was dissolved. Then he came back 5 years after, and then came back with another lady that he actually chose himself. Not of the same financial status anyway, let us say. Not of the same, a bit lower, but then it was true love. They could communicate easily. He didn't look down on her, things like that. And I believe that when parents actually want, and no, you have to measure up, you have to bring somebody of this status in, things like that, it can actually mean cage, prison, or silence for both of them if they're about the same age group. Or it may even be violence in the house.
There are two ways to look at that. I understand what you're saying perfectly. For me, I would say parents who love their children will have been teaching their children premarital studies from the inception on how you treat each other. Because what you're speaking to right now speaks to, do you have enough knowledge to share a life with a partner?
But a life you found, a life you intentionally want to love, not a life imposed on you.
That's why I say that. Firstly, I'll look at that. But to join it to our topic for today, what we are speaking about, when somebody is forced or guilted on you, there might be no way out. Because you can even go ahead and learn the communication, how to be with a partner, have proper premarital studies. But you never really liked this person. You never really knew this person. You were not even friends enough to know each other. You were just forced on you for economic reasons most of the time. So it's not going to be good. It's going to, and if one person was really forced, not that they just match-made them, if one person was forced or guilted into it, it's going to be war.
Yeah.
Just like you said. And to bring it down now to what we were discussing this part of the episode, which is the marriages with the age gap and the girl or the lady in question not being old enough to make a decision for herself. This is worse. Those fights, like you mentioned, are usually between partners who are kind of equal, that those things break out in the first year. In the case whereby it is the age gap thing we are discussing, it takes time before it manifests. Because that lady is first of all a child for a long time, following whatever her husband dictates. And in our own environment, parents, just to have control, have taught their children that obedience is love. Obedience is respect, and it is not. But to show love, respect, the child feels it's obedience. So this child goes ahead with anything her husband says for a long time until she grows up and has a mind of her own. So that one is deeper. It takes long for the problems to start, but they will start. They always start. For somebody who went into it for control, and whose mode of operation in their love is control, they will fight back once that control is being resisted.
But you know something, Deji?
Yes, ma'am.
Initially, it may not look as if the person is going in it for control, because the person is looking at the trophy beside me. Let me walk, and then heads, keep turning to look at who I have beside me. Imagine an older man with a young, pretty, fine, girl beside him. So he wants to walk around, feel proud that I have this beside me. But until the girl starts, showing the childish attitude that she is supposed to show, and that is when it will now become, I need to put some measures in place. It reminds me of when my daughter, when she was very small, followed a friend of mine to their pediatrician. They took their child to the pediatrician. And while the doctor was examining the child that needed examining, my daughter was there playing, picking things and everything. And then my friends were trying to tell her to stop, control her. And the doctor was like, if she wasn't doing what she's doing, I'll put your child down and I'll examine her, because that is the age. So now imagine what she's supposed to do at that age. I'm not talking about my child, I'm talking about the child bride. Okay, yeah. What she's supposed to do at that age, you are depriving her. It will surface, because that is the period she's supposed to exhibit such characters. And when that character is showing up, the older man, that it is time for him to rest. And she's saying, let's go to the cinema. What kind of cinema? At what time? When I'm back home and I'm tired, I want to rest, you are saying, let's go to the cinema. Or you have some that will say, let's go to the club. The man is tired. And then she is caged because she cannot actually go to where her mates are going to at that particular point in time. At that point in time, she is caged. She is being controlled. That is when control will start. Initially, it won't look as if I want to control her. I want her as my wife. I like her. She's beautiful. She's beside me. Heads will definitely turn when we are walking. But it is when they are now under the same roof that she will now start showing what she is meant to actually be going through at that point in time. But if she were to be that man's child, and the child tells the man that, Daddy, I want to go to the cinema, I want to go and watch a film. Guess what? The father will give her money and tell her, go and enjoy yourself. But when it comes to his wife, his young wife, what do you think he will tell the young wife?
Well, I would say, yes, I definitely do agree with you. The only thing that I would say maybe I think about differently is the control issue. Now, while the person who wants to manipulate or the person who wants to control doesn't consciously think that's what they are doing, if you examine the way they are doing it, that's exactly what they are doing. If I say today now that I want a younger girl on my arm, a 22-year-old girl on my arm, and I want her to be admired, and I want to have particular status or a particular reputation by being the guy that goes about with a young, beautiful thing, that is what is called control. I decided on what I want for myself, and I don't care who it affects. She has to comply to what I want. That's why I'm spending all that money on her, and the world has to see me the way I'm forcing them to see me. That actually is control, and it's premeditated. Everything that I'm now going to do from that end on is to satisfy me being seen with a pretty young thing. So she has to always go to the gym. She has to always fix her nails. She has to always go to the spa. She has to always go shopping. Because that is the thing I want to see. When my other friends are coming with distinguished women, their age mates and so on, no. I want the fame, and I want to be admired by having that little girl that they all want. But you look at it from this perspective. At your age, shouldn't you be experiencing things that are closer to your age? Yes, I know different circumstances lead to different things. Some people became widowers, some people became separated, and the person they found. But honestly, if I am 50 or I'm 60, and for some reason I find myself needing a new partner in my life, I'm going to probably want to choose somebody closer to me in age, because that is the person that can or has already experienced life the way I am experiencing it. So they would understand it. Okay, little things like even intimacy between a couple. I want to kiss, and the man is, if it's not his own way, he's saying, no. The man has gone to work, traveled, done so many things. He's older, probably he's suffering already erectile dysfunction, or probably some prostate issue, or his stamina just can't keep up with the libido of a 22-year-old girl. Oh, she won't only be suffering in my home, she's going to be miserable. And I don't want to hear it. And I don't want to catch her cheating. She's in trouble. So it's a lot of things. That's why I said, how about pausing and just thinking about this carefully before you get into it or jump into it? But that still comes after the parent has done their job well of bringing their child up in a different manner and letting the child know what you expect from them. That you just want them to be safe and you just want them to well.
Now, what is the difference between honoring your family and losing yourself to please them?
Parents are teaching obedience instead of love and respect. It's all about control. Do what I say. So we started with presenting the girl as the sacrificial lamb.
The girl is being controlled in two ways.
Yes, in
controlled
2 ways.
By her parents, controlled by her husband.
Yes, that's what's going to happen. They doesn't stop. They go from the parents' home to the husband's home, and at times it's even the two together. Whereby one of them says something and the other one just backs it up immediately. Her husband says this, she fights and goes home where she thinks she will have support. And those at home tell her exactly what the husband has said and she should go back. Because what does the woman do when her heart is screaming no? But the family is saying is guilting her. Protect the family. Carry the family. Don't we love you? You need to show us some love by saving us. Then, in our culture, we also have a thing of the first daughter. In the Igbo culture, that would be the Ada in their family. They are being taught that their purpose is to marry well, to get the family out of hardship. And she sees everything because the father is not hiding. She sees her father stressing over rent. Her mother is stressing with debts over her little business. Her younger siblings, some of them are in school, some of them are not in school. So, how will we say it now? The husband is now being presented as a solution. And she is now the key to that solution. Just agree to this man and we are fine. They don't need to find out about the man again, like culture normally would dictate. To know what is in their family, because we have our cultural knowledge and how to research the family of your future in-law. Nobody does that. There's only one value question now. And that is all. And there's also silent guilt. The girl is not forced, so to speak, but she feels guilty that if I don't go, that means I don't care if my family suffers. It's all due to the manipulation of the parents, because it's the parents' job to tell them that, no, don't worry about it. As long as you're fine and comfortable, we will manage somehow. But those who are supposed to shield her, they are the ones that offer her up on the platter of gold.
But then when we look at, they are not being forced. Some are not being forced, some are forced. It's a societal norm now that if you have the opportunity to do that for your family and you refuse to do it, like you said, that guilt will come. But at whose expense? At their own expense. At the expense of being in pain. At the expense of being silenced. To see the others rise in joy, rise painless, rise in everything, while they think she has this. This cannot actually measure up to that peace that she may have or the love that she's supposed to have in that union. Okay, thank you very much. And which still, tells us about, children trying to honor their parents. Honor their parents. But then, how far can you go with this honoring of the parents? The Bible tells us to honor our parents so that our days on earth may be long. What if in that honoring, it is leading you to your to the end of your own life? Is there a way to say no? That I can't go through this. Okay, so I know someone who actually obeyed her parents, and then she married into the family they wanted her to marry into. Age gap wasn't bad, wasn't bad. I think maximum 5 years, and it wasn't it for her at all. She suffered in this union for almost 17 years before she could get herself back. Before she could say, Mom, Dad, I'm leaving. It was in this suffering that her first pregnancy was actually kicked out of her. All because of, you married a big name. I gave you a name.
Which is why I'm so happy about this particular episode, because this is the episode whereby we speak about what you can do if you find yourself in that situation. That's talking about those who do not want to be in that situation and were forced into it by their parents. Because like we said, there are two different categories. Someone that thinks that's the way out, and someone that the family is being forced to do that. So in this particular case, what I'll say is, first one, let's use cultural or native sense. Don't fight this battle. There has to be somebody in your family or somebody around, aunt, uncle, a respected elder, or even a religious leader at times. Somebody who is just not compromised by the suitor's wealth. Somebody whereby the money is not what is stopping them. Or even a family friend who the parents respect. Because the parents won't take your no immediately. That's the truth of the matter. It is looked upon in my culture as disrespect, whereby you are being ordered to do something, or they are giving you particular wisdom, and you have the effrontery to say no. I have learned today to ask why my child said no, because every human being is their own autonomy. While you are raising a child, you also need to consider the child. So since most people are not able to have the emotional regulation to even do that, or the training to do that, I would say don't immediately say no. Instead, find a partner, somebody they respect, that can talk to them, that can advocate for your education and the need to wait, that can tell them that they are just sending over the child, and these are the things that can happen to that child in this situation they are trying to put this child in. Parents will often listen to their parents more than their children. Then, in the other way, we look at the honor kind of thing, because they will probably, like I said earlier, frame your refusal as rebellion. So what you can also say is to speak in a way that they want to hear, because what they want you to do is to honor the family, raise the family profile. So you can probably frame it like, I want to honor this family by becoming a success in my own right, so I can support you with my money, not a husband's money, because a husband to probably has a family where his money has to go. My parents, my earthly gods, please give me 4 years to prove to you that I can bring honor to us. I ask you just to support me. That man made money, I know I can make money too. You can probably say it that way to calm them down, because communication is the key to almost every interaction as a human being. So the way we talk at times determines on how things can go. Then I would like us to separate love from obedience. We have to understand and accept that disobeying a destructive request doesn't mean we don't love our parents. Our parents are just not educated enough to know what they are asking of us is destructive and unhealthy. They just don't know. People look at Japan and say, oh, as a people, they are respectful and they are clean and they are kind. Now, do you know what it takes to build up that kind of a positive stereotype about a whole people? Not some of them, all of them. I remember I like sports, so a lot of sports programs I watch, and events and tournaments. People were shouting about Japan 2002 because it was held in Japan. So the people in the stadium were mostly Japanese. They were picking up after themselves arranging the chairs in the stadium before they left. And people were like, wow, this is amazing. I think they instructed them to know. It is a Japanese culture which states that cleanliness is next to godliness. It's in the 5 S's. They organize. They did not do it only in that tournament. Anywhere you find the Japanese, where they go to, they're the ones that originated that thing for restaurants, putting those boxes there. When you finish eating in a restaurant, clear your stuff. If it's an eating, you will find a place where you can dispose what you ate. It's a way of showing respect to those who work there that, oh, you might just be a cleaner here, but I still respect you as a human being. So if we want our children to live well, then we have to exchange some not very healthy culture for healthy culture. Disobedience is not always what it seems. It just means that that child, that person, has an opinion of their own. And if you want to work with them and you want them to do what you want, it comes from the place of reasoning with them, not forcing them. So you can love your parents while deeply refusing what they want you to do, because it might be equal to setting yourself on fire. Why do I want to set myself on fire to keep my parents warm? That's exactly what they're asking me to do. And I also want to tell parents that it looks like that now from the place where you are. Remember when you were a child, you did not agree with all of your parents' dictates. You rebelled sometimes, and sometimes after they trained you that they will kill you if you don't do what they say, you decided to keep quiet, keep silent. That is what you are going to do to your child if you force them off with a man just because you want to be warm. Please don't set your child off to keep warm. Ask them. Know what is good for them too, because what is good for them is good for you on the long run. A lot of parents have buried their daughters because their husbands probably beat them to death. Do not add to this, please. I beg of you. I'm speaking directly to you. Please don't. What does courage to disappoint your parents? I'll use disappointing apostrophes. Disappointed, what does it look like? It is the willingness to endure the temporary discomfort of your parents' anger and disappointment to avoid a lifetime of misery. And when you want to do that, then you're not going to shout. When they are speaking, you're not going to match their anger, because the parents have gotten emotional. You might have to learn emotional regulation for yourself, because a parent who is not armed with understanding their emotions and regulating their emotions cannot teach anything else. It's not their fault. You might have to go out and learn that. It's okay to keep quiet for a while and pause and not answer them immediately they say something to you. There's no need to defend yourself immediately. There's no need to match them. There's no need to bring a fourth to their fourth. Rather, we appeal to their better senses. We will say, yes, Dad, yes, Mom, I've heard what you have said, and I see the sense in what you are saying. Can I please come back to this later? Or don't even say anything. Just say you heard. Then later on, a day or two after, Mom, Dad, please, I want to have a word with you. I do not disrespect you. I just want to explain something, and I hope you can listen. You have disarmed them, and they will listen to you.
The children of this generation, I think the generational gap between the parents and the children, and then the parents don't even bother to study the generation, is also affecting it. If they learn the language of this generation and they try to see how they think, it will make it a little bit easy for the parents to be able to communicate with these children. But most of the time, parents want to use the yardstick their parents used on them on this generation. And the same thing, I'm sure that parents too will have complained when their parents try to use their own yardstick on them, that it is the time has gone. This is what is happening now. This is a new era. And the same, their own children too is saying the same thing, but they are refusing to agree. So how easy will it be for the child to even say that I'll come back, because they are a bit short-fused. They want answer now. They ask you why. When you are telling them to do something, they're ready to ask you why. And, they actually stand up to their parents. Let me just put it like that. Some parents don't understand that when they tell them the reason why, it makes it easier for them to understand. and think along that line. But parents will just say, obey me. You just have to obey before
Or
you complain.
Okay. And also to that is that, because what I said before that the child should do is assistance for the child. So it's time to render assistance to the parent as well. I want parents to realize one thing: your child is a mirror. Maybe not a mirror of you 100%, but a mirror of you for about maybe 70-80%. Because they stay at home with you, you are the one that has shaped them. If your child is snapping at you and is brutally arguing with you, it is what you taught the child. I'm not blaming you, because it's just what it is. When we know better, we can do better. If your child grew up knowing nothing, everything they picked up was from you. If you have been in a place of being able to speak to your child gently and calmly, they will discuss with you gently and calmly. So in that particular case, I would say, parents, your children are not warriors. They don't want to fight you. They don't want to be impatient with you. It's just that you never give them options. And any animal that is boxed up is going to fight back. For example, telling a child that has dressed up or picked the clothes they want to wear to where they are going tomorrow, you don't tell that child, no, I bought a cloth for you and that's what you were going to wear. No, you will look at the options that they have and they probably like, and you give them a choice like, I know that you like to wear this red shirt. I know you like to wear that yellow sweatshirt as well. I think you can take one of the two, and that would be nice. You gave the child a choice, but the choice was controlled. That's the thing in there. It was controlled. So they felt like they have a child, and the way you presented it shows respect. And that also teaches the child on how to relate to people outside the home. But when your child calls you and says, hey, leave me alone at that time. Hey, you're very stupid. That's how your child is going to be. So parents, please understand this and you will have peace. Be what you want your child to be and you'll be fine. It's like saying that your child does not put the phone down and you don't put the phone down in your house. This is how your child is thinking. This person asked me to do this thing, that it is not good, that I should not do it. But they are doing it now. Hey, if they can do it, I can do it. That's how your child is thinking. It's the truth. So please, shift from owner to steward. You get back to your children, but you don't own your children. You are a guide to your children. You are a steward. Parents must realize that children are not property or assets. They are individuals entrusted in your care. Shike now. A steward nurtures an asset for its own growth to the advantage of that asset. But an owner exploits it for profits. It is simple. Two more things for the parents before we speak to the younger parents. Then ask, don't tell. Like I explained shortly before. Ask, what are your dreams? What kind of man do you want to marry? Controlling parents will say, this man is good for you. But somebody who cares will ask a question. What is good for him? You didn't leave a choice. Before we go to the next thing, I'll say, okay, define success beyond marriage. Why we get disappointed in life is because of the expectations that we have. If your expectations are informed or healthy, you are fine. If your expectations are not, you'll be disappointed when the person is doing a healthy thing. Family needs to celebrate a daughter's graduation, their good behavior, their first job, their business idea, their diet, their exercising. Celebrate that with the way you would do a wedding proposal. We make it look as if everything our daughter has done before getting married is useless. You are just getting educated, just going out there, all so that you can be married. No, marriage is not an achievement. It's not the be-all and all. Because divorce can be a solution to a terrible marriage. So instead, celebrate your daughter, connect with your daughter. You will be fine. For these young girls, that are either from their family being forced being forced to an old man, or you yourself feels that is the solution to life, so I'm going to take it. I'll tell you one thing. It's not going to be long, so you remember. Your life is the only thing that you know. If you give it away now, you cannot buy it back, no matter how much money it has. Because your life will have flown by. You will have suffered a lot of abuse before you realize this. The pain of disappointing your parents will last for months. In some cases, they might even almost disown you. But the pain of a wrong marriage will last a lifetime and probably take your life, or at least take your peace and your mental wellness. Please, choose short-term pain. Delay that gratification and you will be fine. I promise you.
I think this is a very good place to round up this episode. It's been totally mind-provoking. It's been very thoughtful, honoring your family at the expense of your own joy. But there's something I would like you to know, our viewers, that your peace is not disrespect. Your voice is not rebellion. If you don't want to do something, you have heard how to go about it. Call in an adult. Your parents will definitely want to talk to somebody about their age mate. And then the attitude you give will definitely show them if they can continue with what you want or what they want. So you need to be very, very careful. Your voice is not rebellion, I say again. Honor is a beautiful thing because the Bible tells us to honor our parents so that our days on earth may be long, but not when it is going to kill your joy and it will lock up your destiny. So you need to be able to open up, talk to somebody that they respect so that they can actually listen and then feel your pain. So as you walk the next stage of your life, I pray that may you find the courage to honor your parents without destroying yourself. Choose yourself first. Find peace within yourselves in the next stage that you want to step into. And I want you to remember this. God is not the author of decisions that will suffocate you. He is the giver of peace, wisdom, and true freedom. I pray you find freedom. I pray you choose well in the next stage that you are going to in your life. Thank you for watching once again and see you in the next episode. God bless you. Thank you, Deji.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.